So now we're ready to get things set up. So we'll come down here to the setup section. We'll grab this, and I want to put all of my projects in the same place. I'm going to put it into a directory called Epic React inside of my code directory. So I'm going to make a directory in home directory /code/epic react, and then I'm going to cd into that directory code epic react. And then I will paste this script, which is going to first clone the React Fundamentals workshop. It'll cd into that directory that it just created, and then it starts the workshop setup script. So let me explain what's going on while that all gets set up. The first thing that it's going to do is do some basic system validation. All this is doing is ensuring that the correct tools are installed on your computer, all of the prereqs that we had before. So you had Node.js in the right version, and Git in the right version, and NPM in the right version. It just makes sure that you have all of those dependencies installed, because if you don't, then setting up the rest of the workshop probably won't work super well. So assuming that that passes, the next thing that will happen is it installs dependencies. Now this is going to take some time based on your internet speed and your computer speed. You might just get up and walk away for a little bit. Looks like it doesn't take too long, but that's 220 or 2250 packages. So, that's a fair number of packages. And then once the dependencies are installed, we need to make sure that they all installed properly. And so we're going to run the tests and the build and linting just to make sure that everything is ready to go. And assuming that the project validation succeeds, then you can assume that your computer is ready to rock and roll with this workshop. If something fails at this point, then something probably is amiss, and you'll need to dig into the error message that you see, try to get that fixed, and then try this all over again. And if something ever just doesn't work for you, then and you work on fixing everything, probably the easiest thing to do at that point is delete the repository completely from your machine and start it all over again, rather than trying to fix it after the fact. So once the project validation is complete, it's going to ask you to fill in your email. I'll explain a little bit more what this is for later, but I promise you I'm not sending it to anybody nefarious or selling it or whatever. So I'll just enter my email address here for hello@kentcdodds.com. And this is going to actually do a git commit here to make your just watch mode work nicely. And with that done, then our workshop is totally set up. It's ready to go. Now there is a timeout on this email address fill in because I don't want to require it. You don't actually have to do this. And you could even cancel the script at this point if you wanted to. It's the last thing that we do. But if it does time out and you're like, oh wait, no, I did want to fill in that script or that email, then you can just copy and paste this command and run that again, and it will allow you to fill in your email if you want to. So now that we have everything all set up and it's all working just perfectly, we can go ahead and open up our editor. So I use VS Code, so we can say VS Code right here. And that'll pop up here, or I've got this special alias code, and it'll pop up in this directory. But you'll choose whatever editor you want to. It doesn't really make too much of a difference. And you'll see I actually have a VS Code configuration file or folder right here. There are some recommended extensions, and that should actually pop up and say, hey, do you want to install these extensions? These are just some extensions that I find really useful and helpful in the process of working through this stuff. And then there's this settings.kcd.json. So these are my settings, my editor settings that I'm sharing with you. And if you want to use these, then you can copy and paste those into your settings. It's totally up to you. I don't want to enforce that on you. So that is pretty much it. That's the whole process. So you just go to the repo, copy the instructions there under the setup, those 3 lines. You navigate in your terminal to the directory where you want to put your Epic React workshop repositories. You paste that in, and hopefully everything works fine. If it doesn't, then hopefully the error message is instructive enough to help you figure it out and you can try again. And if that still doesn't work, then you can open an issue on the repo, and we can kind of help you get things set up and fix it up however you need to. And then once everything is set up and you're good to go, you can pull up your editor and you're ready to rock.